Yo, what's good, people? Producer Mykah here, and today, guys, I'm gonna be showing you how you can create amazing bass line. I'm gonna be showing you 3 ways you can actually create nice bass groove. Like a beginner, intermediate, and an advanced level. I'm so excited about this. So, without wasting time, guys, let's go. All right, so right in our DAW, I already have this beat, or a song I'm working on, and I just have the drums and the basic chord, but what we are missing is a bass. So I'm just gonna play this. So as you listen to it, you see that it's actually sounding nice, but it just misses, or it's missing that heaviness. First thing when you want to play your bass is to know the progression of the beat you are making. So this progression, now we are moving from the 2. Let us go to our piano roll. You can see we're moving from the 2 to the 5 to the 6 to the 5. So once you know the progression, creating bass line is actually very, very easy. Then the next, I'm just gonna go load in a bass, and I'm just gonna use Omnisphere. So for the first bass groove, I'm gonna be using Omnisphere. I'm just gonna be using preset clipped sine bass. If you've been following me, I love this preset, and this is what it sounds like. Amazing, right? So let's just go create our pattern, and we'll call this bass. So a beginner approach is actually very simple. What a beginner just needs to do is just, play the root note. And I told you I'm moving from the 2 to the 5 to the 6 to the 5. So a beginner is going to approach it this way. Just go to your piano roll, look for the 2. So pick our 2. So we have like, then move to our 5, then to our 6. To our 5 again. So they just what a beginner will do, and this is amazing. There are songs you hear out there that just have root note as the bass. Nothing complex, just something simple like this. And nice. And a beginner might decide to also go an extra mile by just sliding those notes. And with clip sine bass, you can actually slide your notes. So let's say we're moving from the 2, you just slide to the another 2 here, something like this. Yeah. Then tuta. So simple beginner, and if you are as a beginner, you are playing this, it's acceptable, amazing. Even as a professional, you can play this, it's still acceptable, because it just gives it that low end. So without this bass now, let me just turn it off. You can see how we are missing that low end. But with the bass turned on, simple. So one way you can play your bass note is just by playing single notes. All right, so for the next stage, we're going to be using the sub-boom bass, and this is kind of like an advanced. You can still call it a beginner, but still like it's much better than just playing the root note. So I'm just gonna go pick a preset, and normally I love, I usually just love the default preset on sub-boom bass, which sounds like this. Sounds like this. But once you hold the note, you see that it keeps repeating. All you just have to do is turn off this sequencer, and it stops. It stops repeating. And this is a very nice percussive bass in case you wanna use the bass, but it keeps repeating itself. Another preset I love on the sub-boom bass is a journey in bass and more, and that's the preset we are basically gonna be using. So, and in this next level, right, let me just make sure we're on the right key. What I'm just gonna do in this level is playing octave, play the lower note and the upper note. Instead of putting those root notes, so we have from our 2 to our 5, then to our 6. So, and you have to determine which octave you want to use. Sometimes the lower octave just fits more. Like in this case, so that the upper octave was kind of a bit high. So bringing it down, just made it sit really, really well. So when it comes to octave, all you have to do is play the root note first, and then play an octave. But you have to determine where you're going to put the higher octave in order to give it that groove. So let's go. So you can do like this. We can do. our 6. So let's listen now. We'll just place in some octave, and this is what it sounds like. So yeah, and let me just add in on that extension. So this is an intermediate level, just playing around with your octave, and trust me, this sounds nice. For me, this is fire. I love the groove. So you don't have to overthink, when creating bass groove. But if you can nail your bass groove, your whole beat is just gonna sound amazing, gonna sound fire. And now to the next one, which is like the advanced level. The advanced is where you get to show your professionality, to show, okay, people that I sabi this bass tier. For the advanced level, I'm still gonna be using what I've done with the intermediate, but I'm just gonna play around with it. So let's go back to this one we've created, and I'm just gonna show you how we could just play around with this to make it sound better. So for the advanced, now when it comes to playing keyboard, when I'm on the key of C, we have something like this. Yeah, I don't know whether you understand what I'm doing. So from our, let's say our 1 now, which is our C, we'll have our do, so do, re, la, re, mi, ti, mi, fa, do, fa, so some stuff like that. So that's what I'm gonna use to play the advanced level. So let's just write. Yeah, something like this. Then we can do the same thing for our 6. So our 6 would be la, mi, la, ya. Yeah, so we can. So then another advanced trick you can use is just play with your bass that gives it group. So in my head, as I'm listening to it, there are vibes that just coming. Yeah, so I want something like that. So now I re, 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 re. He said soft like it. So low octave. The re, la. Then to our saw. I'm gonna explain what I'm doing. Let me just put the notes. I'm gonna explain what I'm doing. Yeah, so now I've created, you can see this is more advanced compared to, just playing the root note, playing octave. You have more notes here, doing different things. So just have this in mind, or you can start practicing your keyboard that way. I don't know how I'm going to explain it, but that was just how I played the key. I learned how to play the keyboard. Maybe we could have something like, let me just use the normal keyboard. So this I'll have something like. So yeah, so just play do, so do, re, la, re, mi, ti, mi, fa, do, fa. And that's for my left hand. So that's what my bass is played. So that's the way I learned how to play some. So that's what I'm using for my advance. So I know that, okay, I have my re. I can also add like la, and it's gonna fit in. So So on this part again, I'm still playing like octave, but you see now, instead of just doing the do or re, I'm doing re, like play three play three octave, re. Ha, you feel me, right? I can't go that low, but yeah, you get the vibe. So you can see that. So once you have different bass groove like this, you can then have different sections where you bring in those bass. So for example, now this my starting bass, which is like my beginner bass, can be my intro. If you can have something like, so that can be your starting bass, to start the groove, or some part in the verse you bring in just a very simple bass. But when it comes to like the chorus, where things really needs to be groovy, you show your advanced skill. So this is basically the three levels or the three ways you can play or create amazing bass groove. And I hope this was helpful. If you want amazing stuff like sound packs, FLPs, you definitely want to join the Patreon. And the Patreon is a community where you get exclusive access to the FLPs we use for most of our tutorials, and basically a lot more sound packs, all for free once you are subscribed. So if you want to join the Patreon, the link is going to be in the description. Definitely go join. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.